Obviously the call stands. Here's a quick hitter to CeeDee Lamb. Hauls it in up across the 40.
They're going to need to show up big today to keep this Dallas offense at bay.
As Ferguson in motion, pressure on Prescott, gets rid of it. Lamb. Oh, one-hander! CeeDee Lamb!
Don't let him strike fast.
Little pitch, Dowdle trying to get to the outside, makes a great cut, sprinting up the middle, still going, and he's inside the 5.
Yeah, here we go.
Third and goal. Prescott pumps, throws, end zone incomplete. Looking for Ferguson, who's looking for a flag, and there's none of that. So now 4th and goal, and let's see if Mike McCarthy goes.
Here we go.
4th and goal on the give. Pollard up the middle. He gets denied. A goal line stand by the Giants on the opening drive. It was Lawrence there. So was Ojulari.
I think you have to. I think you got to try to get this ball, or at least you can take a full snap for your punter.
He will throw. Back, going far side of the field, has a completion, gets out at least to the 4. It's Slayton who makes the catch.
Here we go.
Anyway, Dallas has moved the ball, but obviously we're scoreless. Here's Prescott. Has time. Delivers. Beautiful catch in stride. Jake Ferguson, the tight end, who has really come on in his second year. He's become the second favorite target for Prescott.
He's an outside receiver.
And it's 3rd down. Only a 3-man rush. Thibodeau coming with pressure. Prescott escapes. Looking to run. Looking to pick it up. And will. And a penalty flag coming from the secondary too.
Taking a shot downfield.
And the extra 5 yards was a penalty on Banks, who was on Lamb again. Here's a fake. Now it's Lamb on the reverse. Has a seam. CeeDee Lamb scores. Touchdown, Dallas.
Just a complex issue of situations going on here, and they just can't seem to get it right.
Here, though, DeVito hits Slayton for a 1st down.
That's part of the equation.
Quick throw. Barkley bobbled and then corralled. But the time he did, it's actually incomplete. He didn't pull it in before he went out of bounds.
Expect someone to come double team CeeDee Lamb.
Here's Prescott. And that is going to be picked off. Cordell Flott turning it around. And the Giants in business.
This is an opportunity for Brian Daboll to try to take advantage of the field position and turn it into 4 downs.
Back to throw, pressure, in trouble, takes off. DeVito, head down inside the 5. 4th and 2. It is Barkley. It is not going to get it done. Nowhere to go, and the Dallas D makes a stand. Prescott rolling, looking. Cooks makes the catch. Brandon Cooks shoved out of bounds out across the 10. He was super quiet last week against Philadelphia.
Wants to play. Change the pre and post snap picture.
On the fake, Prescott rolling, throwing across his body. It's Cooks. Beautiful throw. Brandon Cooks throws a man away and out across the 35, all the way up near the 40.
Here we go.
Play clock at 0. They just get it off. Prescott pumps, has a man. CeeDee Lamb has got it inside the 30. Jalen Brooks in for a rare time a receiver for Dallas, the rookie from South Carolina. Prescott throws his way. Brooks makes the catch and a move and a 1st down. So his first catch in the NFL.
Let's see if it holds up.
Pollard breaks through. Inside the 5, it's 1st and goal for the Cowboys. Bringing the fullback, fake to Pollard here, floating it out for Ferguson, touchdown Dallas.
Well, apparently the Giants were thinking the exact same thing.
They go with Breida in the backfield here. Blitz is coming. DeVito in trouble and he is sacked. Neville Gallimore gets home. His 1st of the year.
Said this guy is just so super confident. That just stresses a cornerback out.
Yeah, it really does. It's so interesting, too, as Pollard breaks a couple of tackles, has a 1st down. He's down near the 36.
Here we go.
Here's Rico Dowdle. Breaks a tackle. Dowdle somehow pushes through the pile and has right around a 1st down.
Yeah. Here we go.
Put Dowdle a yard short. They give it to him again. This time he's not a yard short. He's inside the 15. A gaping hole, and Dowdle took advantage. Second and goal. Prescott going for Cooks. He's got it. Touchdown, Dallas. Third down. Blitz coming. Pressure. DeVito in trouble. Slips away from Curse. Now tucks it and runs. And he's not going to get anywhere.
And not let the score dictate your decisions.
Meanwhile, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys rolling again. Fires one. Cooks in stride. Oh, and he's tripped up. He was gone. That was a perfect strike to Prescott to Cooks.
Yeah, here we go.
Second down and 3. Going far side of the field. He's got a man wide open. It's Cooks again, who's having his best day as a Cowboy. Prescott in some trouble. Ojulari coming with pressure. Floats it out there. Oh, and he's got a completion to Lamb. Are you serious? He just lobbed it up like an alley-oop, and Lamb came back to get it.
Yeah, here we go.
Second and 18. Prescott delivers. Oh, good catch made.
Yeah, here we go.
Final seconds of the half. 3rd and 9. Prescott flushed out of the pocket. Looking to run. Dak Prescott is in. Touchdown.
We'll have to see what Tommy DeVito is able to do here, down 4 scores, guys.
Yeah, hopefully stay on the field a little bit. Pressure coming, and he's sacked on the first play. Dante Fowler gets home. 3rd sack of the day for the Cowboys.
The second Tommy DeVito hit his back foot, Fowler was there.
Here's DeVito looking for a little something, and he's going to get dropped again to Marcus Lawrence. Back-to-back sacks to start this 3rd quarter. So another loss injury-wise for the Giants. 3rd and 9 for Prescott. Blitz is coming. Picked up initially. Ferguson has a way to go. Makes a move and tackled short. A play. I know that's not crazy math. I was never good at math. But I know it's not good for an NFL game. They're going to hand it off here. Finally, big space there. Saquon Barkley. But there's a flag. He's been under duress today like he is here again. He's going to take off and run. Another penalty flag from the secondary. Big gainer for DeVito if it stands all the way down to the Dallas 45. Let's see what this penalty flag is about. A little drive going by the Giants here. Here's Barkley. Left side. Big seam. Saquon Barkley with a good run. And the Giants have a little juice on this drive. 4-man rush. DeVito steps away, looking to run again. Why not? He's got good speed inside the 15.
I was waiting for you to throw that out there. I mean, geez, it took you long enough.
Well, you got to give me a chance. Throw it outside to Cager, who is going to be in for the score. Lawrence Cager has the touchdown. The Giants put together a drive, and they're on the board. 4-man rush. Stunts picked up. Deep over the middle, and CeeDee Lamb who makes another big catch. Into Giants territory, down to the 40. Play clock winding down. They get the playoff. Protected. Going deep. Michael Gallup. He's got it! Touchdown, Dallas! And there's a lot that's going wrong. DeVito going deep. He's got a man. Hyatt is open, but then the seam closes and it's intercepted. Guess who? Deron Bland again. He's got his 5th of the year.
Yeah, here we go.
35-7 the score. Prescott on the fake. Some pressure comes. Gets hit as he throws. Going deep. Brandon Cooks. He's got it again. Another deep shot to Cooks, and Dak Prescott took a big hit.
Here we go.
3rd down. Blitz coming over the middle. Cooks running free. 1st and more. Turning on the speed now, and he's inside the 15. Dak Prescott doing whatever he wants.
Yeah, here we go.
Looking. Throwing end zone. Another one for CeeDee Lamb, and a touchdown, Dallas. Penalty in the middle of the field. Hang on. Just 42 yards passing in his NFL starting debut. 3rd-string quarterback for the Giants with all the injuries. 3rd and 11. Pressure right away. He's in trouble. DeVito firing on the run, incomplete. And up comes fourth down in a punt situation.
Here we go.
3rd and 1. Rush over the middle, and it is caught by Brooks in traffic. Nice grab by the rookie. Blitz coming. Rush stands in, delivers into a lot of traffic, and it's intercepted by Darnay Holmes, who's got it. 3rd career interception for him. Picks off Cooper Rush, and the Giants will take over. Barkley. Oh, nice move. Saquon Barkley. Well done. A little sidestep of initial pressure. 3rd and 15. Pressure coming. DeVito launches. Slayton, did he stay in bounds? He did not. Incomplete, and it's 4th and long. And it's up and true for the longtime veteran, former Titan. Make it 42-10. Eagles have the Chiefs, the Bills, the 49ers before they play the Cowboys next. Here's Rush, lofting one. Gallup. Oh, good catch. Michael Gallup goes up and gets it. Yeah, the 41-yard touchdown earlier.
Here we go.
Here's Rush. Plenty of time. As a man open, it's Deuce Vaughn over the middle. Makes a cut, and Vaughn gets a deuce chance and works his way near a first down.
Enough's enough. Is it worth risking injuries? And
Rush gets it outside. Jalen Brooks makes a catch, makes a move, has a first down, and down near the 10.
Here we go.
Draw. Dowdle has a big seam, makes a man miss, and another. Dowdle lunging forward. Gonna put him down at the 1. It'll be 1st and goal from there.
confirm that feeling.
Definitely won't do that. 1st and goal. Here's Dowdle. And he's in. Touchdown, Dallas. Has some time, tips it over the middle, and he's got a first down. Well, you're looking forward to in the next couple weeks. Back to throw, pressure on him again, steps away and gets it to Bellinger, breaks the tackle, first down and more. He's into Dallas territory and chugging his way down to the 36-yard line with 1:04 to go and a timeout called by the Giants. Pressure again, steps away, throws underneath, and the ball is caught right around the first down marker. It's Darius Slayton, who's going to be a little short. 10 seconds left, 1st and goal. From the 2, DeVito throwing a fade, Sterling. Shepard has got it for the score. That'll do it. Cooper Rush takes a knee. 49-17. The Cowboys win it.